So that's our tip for you this week.
What?
What is the tip?
Accept Wow, we said all that.
Yeah, I forgot it. So that's the tip. No. So that's our tip. So that's our tip for you. Well, you were talking, so I guess it. So
I'm just giving you what it is.
All right. Hey family.
Hi guys.
It's Tuesday, so you know what time it is. It's time for another short tip.
That's right.
Now this week's short tip is to accept constructive criticism.
Wow. Yeah.
Talk about that.
So accept constructive criticism. If we know that our spouse loves us and has our best interest at heart, we should also know that when they point something out to us, that it's done in love, and we should try not to become defensive or offended, which is really difficult, I'll admit, for me to do sometimes. When Ollie points something out to me, I kind of get a little bit defensive, I will admit, but I know that he loves me, so I have to keep in mind that it's done in love. It's done to help me to grow and to better me. So you got to learn to accept it.
That's very true. Now, human nature, sometimes we kind of buck against that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
When you hear something that's not so favorable about yourself,
right,
you kind of get on the defensive and you want to shoot back.
Right.
But we want you to make sure that you are accepting the constructive criticism that you may get from your spouse or that you may get from other individuals, because that is to better you. That is to make you a better person. Now, here's the flip side of that. Make sure that the criticism is indeed constructive.
Yeah.
Often we're kind of just barking at each other because we're upset.
Right.
And that is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about getting angry and just flashing out stuff, what we call can opener words and all those can opener phrases and that kind of thing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about things that are said in love to make sure that your spouse becomes the person that he or she was designed by God to be, and you in turn become the person that God designed you to be. And ultimately the goal, like we say all the time, is complete intimacy and oneness. So that's what we want you to remember. Remember that when you get some criticism, that it is out of love and that you take it that way and you use it to better yourself.
Yeah, and to add to that also, if I'm the one giving the constructive criticism, like you said, it's best to not just shoot off without thinking about it. Even pray about it before you bring it to your spouse.
That's good.
Think about how you're going to say it. You know, make sure the setting, the environment is good.
Right.
And, you know, it's going to be well received. So think about what you're going to say before you say it. You know your spouse. You know what words and what phrases may kind of trigger them to be on the defensive. And so pray about and think about what you're going to say before you say it, and make sure that they understand and receive it in love.
We're trying to grow, right?
Yeah.
And if we're trying to grow, there's going to be some constructive criticism along the way.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect. None of us are going to do the right thing all the time.
Right.
Sometimes we kind of have to be called on the carpet, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that we can become better individuals.
Right.
So that's our tip for you this week. We want you to be able to accept constructive criticism.
Right.
It's for your good.
Yeah.
And it's for the good of your relationship.
That's right.
That's all we have for you today. God bless.
God bless.